Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dogs and cats, and wherever they're watching this video, we have the big film and TV news that I share to you because Duffer Brothers, creators of Stranger Things on Netflix, just signed 4-year film, TV, and streaming deal with a newly founded Paramount Skydance Corporation, which is a merger between Paramount Global and Skydance Media. This is huge, and this is going to be a bigger that they had to do. And we're made up. I mean, this haven't no because the Netflix deal has to come to an ending later next year or next year, April next year. That's because it had Duffer Brothers would move on to decide to move in working to Paramount and after the Netflix deal, but he's still making the stuff like between the different universe Strange Things universe as well as other projects over at Netflix, but haven't developed it. But the other reason that the reason I will talk about in a second, they have no theater policy, so let's not so let's do, so let's not waste the time. This is reporting from Deadline once again. The new Paramount owned by Skydance has made official that Stranger Things, all the kikes, the Duffer Brothers, and then their Upside Down Pictures label are officially come over to the Meslon Annable a lot under wide-ranging 4-year exclusive deal for feature films, television, and streaming projects. We told you that the big deal from the David Ellison led Paramount last week. I did a video week ago, so let's not waste your time. The big plus here, the Duffers, is that they're now get to make movies for the big screen. Now, if you know that Duffer Brothers were probably usually making movies portrayed on Netflix, but Netflix had no theater policy. I mean, I know that a few movies were probably got released in theaters, but even including The Irishman, Mank, David Fincher, Mank, or Nights of sequel, and even the Great Guy, the Russo Brothers movie stars Chris Evans and the pre-Ken for Bobby movie Ryan Gosling. So I know that pretty much probably disappointed. I think Netflix would decide to be releasing in theaters for theater theatrical window. Like I probably know, like other first stream studios had a streaming service, Apple TV Plus, and especially Prime Video was owned by, but it was led by the studio. Apple and Amazon and GM Studios had film studios between on the Apple original films and Metro Gore Mirror through Amazon and GM Studios. Will have an upgrade release in theater, had a theatrical window, have a deal. The mostly and under the streaming service Apple TV Plus and Prime Video. That the most successful streaming let release movies day to day in streaming and on the theatrical release and then later on streaming on the streaming service was a Apple TV Plus called F1 movie with Brad Pitt was co-produced with Warner Brothers. So that's pretty much becoming successful, and I have the plan to see someday, but who knows? But yeah, the theatrical release been had nothing to do. Netflix had a no theater policy. In fact, the next year that the Greta Gerwig Narnia movie had a theatrical release, they have a distribution agreement. For example, Warner Brothers, Universal, or maybe Sony Pictures. But and I heard the TriStar Pictures were involved, but I know this is probably a man released through Sony Pictures internationally, but I'm not sure that. So yeah, let's continue on. Their new deal at Paramount starts to begin at the end of the current deal with Netflix in April 2026. It's next year. At the end of the next week Netflix deal, where the doubles will remain involved in the Stranger Things and other extending projects in development at the OTT service. The multi-Emmy nominated Dubber will write, direct, and produce feature films, TV, and original series for Paramount Pictures, Paramount Television, and Paramount Direct and Consumer. Their Upside Down Pictures production company is led by the producing partner and president Harry Latta. This note confirms that the first big deal under the David Levinson led Paramount is with the Dubbers. That the duo have worked with Cindy Holland, Paramount chair of the director to consumer, and Matt Frodin, president of Paramount Television at Netflix. So yeah, I was saying. Said Matt and Ross Duffer said, we couldn't be more thrilled to be joining the Paramount family. David, Josh, and Dana, the latter two, which become the new Paramount answers to Michael DeLuca and Penn Abbey from Warner Brothers Pictures, of course, and are passionate to bringing bold original films to the big screen. To be part of the mission is not just society, it's the formulated of the lifelong dream, and so at the studio with such a story Hollywood legacy is the privilege we don't take lightly. We also excited to reunite our with our friends Cindy and Matt, who were along were the very first to believe in us. In the years of little script we were that had become Stranger Things. They took a chance on us in 2015, and then we taking a chance again this year, 10 years later. It took 10 years between the Netflix deal to Paramount deal. It took 10 years. Yeah, we can't wait to create new stories together. Our time on the Netflix has been incredible. Ted, Belletta, and Peter have given us the kind of the creative freedom and supported that it auto stream, but so already received. And take it in, they are the family. We excited to continue collab not only for the upcoming release of the Stranger Things fifth and final season, but also in the shows we're deeply proud to be produced, including something very bad is going to happen and Brothels. We're looking forward to build out the future of Stranger Things together, and there are many more stories to tell beyond Hawkins, and we can't wait to share him. The brother added. To continue on, Cindy Hollis said, we have the privilege to know Noel Matt lost for over the decade, and we worked then for their early stations through the deseriously global success. We have seen firsthand their extraordinary creative vision and exceptional gift of storytelling. We couldn't be more excited to reunite and welcome them to Paramount. Daniel Goldberg and Josh Greenstein had to say about that, about the deal with the Duffer Brothers, creator of the Stranger Things series. We're thrilled that the incumbent Duffer Brothers are joining our Paramount family. Their singular talent for creative stories that words that shape culture set them apart. This partnership is a great example of the new Paramount in action. Our film, TV, and streaming business united to offer Matt and Lost and the full power of the platforms that tell their best and most motherless story yet. So yeah, this is gonna be industry, and I hope Dublin Brothers will move forward into the new Paramount. Since Netflix didn't have any no theater policy, had for except for the new Narnia movie getting a theatrical Netflix release, well, in partnership, I think from Sony Pictures for TriStar Pictures. Like I'm not sure, but we'll see what happens. And continue for deadline, and it said the new Paramount Multi Pictures heads Daniel Goldberg and Josh Greenstein again. Paramount's going trying to be Michael DeLuca and Penn Abbey from Warner Brothers Pictures, of course, told the press last week there are the plans to 15 to 20 movies to release annually. Paramount already the production packs and the subtitles has Ryan Reynolds, production company Maxer Effort, John Krasinski for Saturday Night Productions, Damien Chazelle, Temple Hill, and of course the least favorite former DC Studios Hodgman, Watanabe, Jonah Studio, HC. All the one, two, three, four, five people were made to have a routine working with former Paramount Pictures head and former Nickelodeon CEO Brian Robbins. And also this is the came at year day after the Paramount Pictures signed with the year of global deal with Literary Entertainment, and he had after the previous contract with Sony Pictures was pretty much disappointment. Even the last two films, The Machine and the Book of Clarence, was pretty much underperformed in the box office. But there's another film was said to be recently released for Sony Pictures. There is Street Fighter movie. If you know, according to World of Real.com, was heard in the Eric Andre, yes, and from the Eric Andre show fame, the Let Me In guy, That he made a meme, and especially Tyler Shadows made a meme between parody on the Train Records episode. So yeah, and then here it said, meanwhile, is saying that the reboot rights they earned with Sony anymore. Yes, again, to the both the box office failures um, of that the machine and the book of clearance, of course. And after since Sony Pictures can remain in continue had the continuation distribution of the Street Fighter movies and all this stuff, but that never happened. That it Paramount is now will be distributed the film via Literary. So yeah, so Sony Pictures no longer held the distribution rights of the new Street Fighter movie, but now handle under belong with Paramount since. Like I said, after box office failures of the Machine and the Book of Clarence from Sony Pictures, I think after a mediocre box office performance, like I think that Sony Pictures will agree to do a continued relationship with the upcoming Street Fighter movie, but unfortunately, that never happened. It already had the grow distribution co-finance deal with Paramount Pictures. With about the domain entertainment that were between Warner Brothers and this Paramount Pictures pretty not related to that. So yeah, we see what happens. It's been and also literally was also the former Paramount co-finance partner, but he already opposed in co-finance of the upcoming films, Godzilla vs. Kong 3 and Dune 3. And I'm not sure the Admiral Friends and the Tom Cruise Andrew Gonzalez Immuno film might be released through Paramount instead for Warner Brothers, or even though straight up street released for Warner Brothers. But I'm not sure. But I think it might be released from. I'm not sure, but maybe someday if later we might agree to release the non-Dune and Godzilla vs Kong projects from Warner Brothers now and handled for Paramount. So yeah, this is a huge good news from the creators of the Stranger Things series, Duffer Brothers. This is going to be a huge, and this is going to be a new era of the Paramount. As I already said, post Paramount Skydance merger, and also this is a new era of the Duffer Brothers. They're in this way to move, and after the fifth and final season of Stranger Things to come to a close was coming, yet in a few coming weeks, I would say this is going to be the huge turning point. And I'm pretty much excited what is to come at Paramount, as well as in the picture film division Paramount Pictures, as well as the streaming platform Paramount Plus. But even though, as probably the other person who was also working from overhaul deal from Paramount Skydance was Taylor Swift, who happened to create deals, especially the creator of the Letterstone, Tulsa King, Modland, and Landman. Hey, the rhymes. So we can see what happens. Except for one film that not distributed by Paramount is a fast movie. Stars Brandon Skeeter. You probably know as a guy from the In Ends With Us movie, the infamous that because he had a drama between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, but that's make no sense. But I think the next film, Blumhouse Drop movie, was got improvements from Brandon Streeter, but still. Anyway, but still, I probably Taylor Sheridan would have an overall deal. But and even though they have the agreements, but even also the literary entertainment deal with Paramount, it's co-finance global deal. It is going to be different. It's more like you have overhaul deals and even cut ties with filmmakers, but it's more focused on a grounded brand that Paramount become the new era. So I hope to see the upside down pictures and production label, especially in Dublin Brothers, we'll see what happens in the future. Maybe it's going to be a new content between and maybe an extended deal at some point. So we'll see what happens. So I can't wait to be excited what the new Paramount Skydance about with the creators of Stranger Things. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments. Do you agree about the creators of Stranger Things, the Duffer Brothers? They signed a 4-year deal with Paramount Skydance. Let me know what you think. And like, comment, subscribe, share, ring the notification bell, and remember, please, as the wise man once said, please don't go watch Stranger Things season fifth and final season on Netflix coming in a week. So looking forward to that. And remember, keep your eyes here on Wanimi.